Hello, lovely people. Welcome to my channel. It's Hila at home, and today we're going to be doing a product review for Timeless Vitamin C Serum. But before we get started, I'd like to invite you to hit that subscribe button if you enjoy lifestyle channels that just basically share a lot of lifestyle stuff, and you will always get some positive vibes over here. Let's dive straight into it. So, a few months ago, well, not a few, 6 months ago to be exact, I splurged out and I bought the Timeless 20% vitamin C, ferulic acid, vitamin E serum. Okay, so I promised that I would be using this up and I would do a review of it. So for today's review, I wanted to make sure that I wasn't wearing any foundation or any makeup. So this is my skin as it looks like. Well, I did do my eyebrows. So I'm just going to show you that there isn't any foundations. I've got some micellar water here and I'm not wearing any foundation at all. See, nothing on there. Nothing on there. So I wanted you to see what my skin actually looks like when I'm talking about a skincare product. Okay, so now that that's out of the way, let's talk about this Timeless Vitamin C Serum. Now, first off, this is more expensive than any vitamin C serum that I had ever bought before, except for the Medicaid Vitamin C Serum, which was crazy expensive. But that's another video over there. This cost me just under £30 when I got it 6 months ago, and I think I did pick it up on a sale as well. Why I wanted to try this was because in the past I had been using vitamin C serum, and by the way, just as a background, I only started using vitamin C serum in 2018 when I turned 38, and I started freaking out about the fact that I hadn't been looking after my skin. And so I have been going through different types of vitamin C serums and trying to find which one works well for me. So I've been using just pure vitamin C serums that don't have anything else with them, but this one had ferulic acid, which was considered to also be an antioxidant, which would help to increase the efficacy of vitamin C, as well as to make it more stable and last longer. So why would we need to make it more stable and last longer? Well, the thing is, with vitamin C serum, there is a particular type of vitamin C called L-ascorbic acid, and that's considered to be the best of the vitamin C. But the problem with the L-ascorbic acid is that it doesn't have a very long shelf life, which means that it oxidizes really quickly if it's not kept in optimal conditions, and you can't really use it, especially if you keep it in a warm room that has got a lot of sunlight. You're looking at about 2 to 3 weeks before it becomes redundant and useless. So the thing within the beauty industry is that they have been trying to find alternative forms of vitamin C, and there's a myriad different types of them. But the general consensus seems to be that L-ascorbic acid is the best one. Now, I have tried L-ascorbic acid itself as a vitamin C serum, and I've bought vitamin C serums that have had the L-ascorbic acid, but that's another video over there. So this one of its major selling points is that it contains L-ascorbic acid, and then it's got the added ferulic acid to make it stay longer. And it's in this plastic bottle over here, which kind of looks a little bit like a suntan lotion dispenser, if I may be so bold as to say. Right. So it's designed, I imagine, so that this doesn't get as much sunlight to it, which isn't an issue for me. My ensuite bathroom doesn't actually have an external window in it. It's a very small room, and it doesn't have any heating in it. So I do find that I can keep most of my beauty products without worrying about them getting rancid very quickly. And that's where I kept this. I have read other people keep this in the fridge because of how quickly L-ascorbic acid goes off. but I haven't had to do that. My house is on the colder side, which is why I always wear layers. So I didn't keep it in the fridge. Plus, there's the fact that for me, my refrigerator is downstairs, and there is no way every morning I'm going downstairs to get it and then put it back in the refrigerator. That's just not how I roll. I am low maintenance. I prefer things that give me bang for my buck, and I value my time. So I'm not going to be doing that. But I did find that this one, for the 3 months that I used it, it lasted me 3 months. It was fine. It didn't lose its color. By the way, the one way that you can tell if your vitamin C serum, the one that's L-ascorbic acid based, has gone off is that it turns color. It's generally supposed to be a white, clear liquid. And when it goes rancid or oxidizes, it becomes sort of like a pale brownie. It changes color. And this one never did change the color. The consistency is very watery when you spray it on, and it's got nice slip, which made it a lot easier to spread around. So those were some of the good things about it. The first couple of days that I used it, I did find that my skin did a little bit of a peeling action, which normally happens when I switch over to a different product, especially of the vitamin C. There was no irritation at all or any itching, apart from the fact that the top layers of my skin just sort of came off, but only very mildly, and that lasted the first 2 days. I was using it daily. Every morning I would cleanse my face using La Roche-Posay Effaclay cleanser, and then I would follow this up with the serum, and then I would follow that up with a moisturizer, and I would use that every day. And I can use that. My skin is quite tolerant. There was no irritation. I have heard that some people will use this every other day to reduce any irritation. This does contain some hyaluronic acid, so it was more moistureful, if there is such a word. I felt that my skin did feel hydrated. It did not feel dry afterwards when I would put this, even before I would then add the moisturizer. So I would wait about 2-3 minutes before I would put the moisturizer, so that my skin would have the opportunity to absorb it. So it was really good. It has barely got a fragrance, which is a very nice plus. So if you're somebody who's sensitive to fragrances, this doesn't have a fragrance at all, and it spreads really easily. And I felt that it was doing something for my skin. And it lasted a long time. It was 3 months of using the serum. And those are the good things about it. The negative things about this, the things that I didn't enjoy, I could not stand this bottle. I cannot stand this bottle because, number one, I cannot tell how much is left over. So for me, how I work with my skincare, once I get to a certain point with a particular product, I begin researching and thinking about whether I want to keep this product, buy it again, or whether I'm going to buy something else. And I do research into that. With this one, I had no idea when I had to start thinking about whether I wanted to keep using it or whether I wanted to buy the next one. And it's a little bit of a ritual for me. And I didn't like it. I like being able to see how much of a product is left. I didn't like the fact that I couldn't easily control how much I use. Every other single vitamin C serum that I have used since 2018 has come in a dropper. And I find the dropper so useful because some days, if my skin is feeling a little bit dry, or maybe I caught the sun and it's a little bit more sensitive, and I just want to put maybe the vitamin C serum on my forehead and not so much on my cheeks where I've caught the sun, with the dropper, I had better control to be able to use more or less, or on some days when, especially in summer, I would tend to use it more on my décolletage because that's more exposed in summer versus winter. And so in summer, I would be using more vitamin C serum because I'd also be, trying to repair the damage from being out in the sun. But I can't control with this. You just do the squirt and it gives you that same amount. And I really could not stand that. So as you can see, it's got kind of like a spray thing. Oh, there's still a little bit coming out. Yep. So I didn't like that about this. So as you can see there, that's how it comes out. One other thing that I don't like about this is that with the droppers, the vitamin C serums that come in the droppers, I get to the point where when it's finished, I can open it up and then I can do that thing where you like use gravity and centripetal force to make sure that you get every single thing that's inside. And I can't do that with this. It's not easy to open it up so that I can do the thing of scooping out every single last drop of product, which is something that I like to do because, again, I do like to get value for my money. And I do find that very, very frustrating about this bright looking bottle. So that is one of my biggest beefs with this. I don't like the bottle design at all. And that's one of the main, and for me, that feels like it's a deal breaker. I feel like for the money that I am paying extra to get this, it really should be in a format that I enjoy using, a format that I find easier to dispense, and a format that I am able to see how much product I have left. And it should be easier for me to see if the product is beginning to turn. Now, I know that for most people, they would probably say that you need to keep it in the fridge. I just cannot do that. And from what I've read, a lot of people keep it in the fridge. And I'm not going to be able to do that, not with my lifestyle. In terms of my skin, did it do what it says on the tin? Absolutely, it did what it said on the tin, but it didn't do it that much better than other vitamin C serums. Its biggest selling point is that it's got L-ascorbic acid. Am I necessarily convinced that L-ascorbic acid is the holy grail of vitamin C serums, that it is so much better than the other non-L-ascorbic acid but substitutes that are more stable? I'm not entirely convinced about that because I have used cheaper alternatives that have worked just as well. For me, the benefit was marginal. Yes, it does have hyaluronic acid, but I can get hyaluronic acid in a bunch of other products as well, or I can just buy the serum itself a lot cheaper and it would come in a dropper. The ferulic acid component, I don't know that it added that much more to the texture of my skin. I didn't feel that there was enough marginal benefit to justify the higher price point. Now, I do know that in the grand scheme of skincare, this is probably considered budget range because a similar type serum by SkinCeuticals retails for about 120. And if you are used to using that one and then you try and use this and this is £25, of course, this is going to feel cheaper for you. But for me, I have been getting similar vitamin C serums that promise to do similar things for half the price for the same amount. And they've been in a delivery mechanism, a dropper, which I far prefer. So for me, in my own personal lifestyle needs and desires, I don't feel that this is worth me buying again. I would say that if you're somebody who was considering buying a more expensive vitamin C serum like the SkinCeuticals or anything else that costs £50 plus, it might be a good idea to check this one out first because it does have the L-ascorbic acid instead as a component. And if you are a dedicated skincare enthusiast, maybe keep it in the fridge. I'm not at that point where I'm willing to go up and down and use the fridge for skincare and for food, besides the fact that I'm not sure that my kids would play around with this if I kept this in the fridge. But yeah, so I'm going to have to say thank you, but no thanks. I will be using another vitamin C serum. My search still continues for that perfect balance between something that continues to brighten my skin tone and to keep it evenly textured. I did forget to mention that vitamin C serum for me, when I stop using vitamin C serum, and that's where there's the L-ascorbic acid or any of the other alternatives, my skin does change texture, which is one of the ways that I know that vitamin C serum works for my skin and that it is a necessity. My major skin concerns are obviously anti-aging. I want my skin to still look nice and young, and skin brightening and evening out my skin tone, and vitamin C serum does that. And when I stop using vitamin C serum, my skin gets kind of like a bumpy texture, whereas when I'm using the vitamin C serum, it makes my skin look like it's been finely sanded with fine sanded, like a really lovely polished look, which is one of my main goals. So I like the fact that it does that. It makes my skin look smooth, like really nice and smooth and without any of the bumps. It has reduced some of the hyperpigmentation, like some of the spots that I have here. They used to be much darker. Right now, they do seem a little bit darker because I did catch the sun the other day. And it does reduce the look of pores around my nose as well. And I'm hoping that it will help to reduce this acne scarring that I have over here. So all in all, vitamin C serum is a must for me, which is why I keep on searching, looking, trying out different vitamin C serums. But I am not going to pay a heck of a lot more for something that is giving me a 0.5% improvement in my skin. But apart from that, if money is no object and, you like things that come together, so you've got the vitamin E, the ferulic acid, and the vitamin C in one thing, and maybe you like yellow, then this is the one to go for you. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you found this review useful and that you found it informative, and if you did, to give the video a big thumbs up down below. If you haven't already, do subscribe. I put up content pretty regularly about lifestyle and about stuff. And until I see you next time, I wish you clear blue skies, good health, and happiness. Take care now. Bye.